Ukraine's leader had been somewhat restrained and diplomatic, despite this being the week that President Trump said he was planning to fly to Russia to negotiate with President Putin, and that the US suggested his country would never be allowed to join NATO. That is until now. This is the moment Zelenskyy hit back.
Let's be honest, now we can't rule out the possibility that America might say no to Europe on issues that threaten it. Many leaders have talked about Europe that needs its own military, an army of Europe.
And on a Trump trip to Russia, he was even blunter.
Putin wants one-on-one talks with America. Just like before the war, when they met in Switzerland and looked like to carve up the world. Next, Putin will try to get the US president standing on Red Square on May 9th this year, not as a respected leader, but as a prop in his own performance. We don't need that. We need real success. We need real peace.
Zelenskyy's speech received sustained applause. Compare that with a day earlier when the US Vice President J.D. Vance spoke in the same room. Just a smattering of polite claps and an audience stunned by his attack on European democracy. I'm told by an informed Ukrainian source that it was Vance's speech that prompted Zelenskyy to change his tone to the US administration. He now believes his best approach is trying to unite European nations behind him. There's a risk that Zelenskyy's tougher comments that continued in a later news conference will antagonize Trump. But Poland's foreign minister told me in the circumstances, plain speaking is justified.
I think with the new administration there is a premium on frankness. And times are very hard. Ukraine is facing existential choices. So President Zelenskyy tells it like it is, and I hope it gets heard.
Here in Munich, the very real differences between the US and European plans for peace in Ukraine have been further exposed. That's the reason European foreign ministers will hold a meeting here in the coming hours. James Bays, Al Jazeera, Munich.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.